Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're taking a look at 7 tips for your Steam Deck. Definitely things I have found useful along the way, and there's definitely a lot more tips than this to use, so there'll probably be some more videos in the future. If you like what you see here, don't forget to subscribe, a thumbs up, ring the bell, and leave me your comments down below. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. 7 tips for your Steam Deck, and let's get started with the Steam shortcuts. Now here you'll see we are just hanging out on our game mode, and if you hold down the Steam button, this will bring up your Steam button shortcuts with a lot of very useful shortcuts to get around and do things on your Steam Deck. You can also hold the 3 dots or the quick access button to bring this up as well, which is useful when you need to use the left hand for other buttons in the shortcuts. Now if you hold down the Steam button and hit the left button here, we'll get a screenshot, which you can do inside of game or pretty much anywhere else. If we hold down our quick access button and move our left stick, it will automatically adjust our brightness, which is a very quick way to get in and do that. If you are stuck in a game and you hold down your Steam button, you can hold the B button down and force a game to shut down, which can be very useful as well. You can also hold the Steam button and hit X to bring up the on-screen keyboard, which again, a very useful shortcut that I use a lot on my Steam Deck. So make sure you go in and get very familiar with these Steam button shortcuts. They can be very useful and help you get things done quicker. All right, let's move to our next tip, which is going to be about formatting your SD card. Simple enough. Just press the Steam button, go down to System. We'll go over here and scroll down to Format SD Card. Now, once you click on that, you'll be good to go. Remember, it is going to delete anything that you have on that card, so make sure there's nothing there that you want. I'll speed this up here. It'll get to formatting after testing, and then once it completes, we'll be able to go see that storage in our settings. So let's scroll over here and make sure that it's showing up as it's supposed to. If for some reason it doesn't, you could always eject the SD card and put it back in and check again. But here we go. My SD card is showing up and formatted, ready for our games. Now there's another good feature that's been confirmed by Valve, and that brings us to our next tip, which is the switching out of your SD cards while the system's on. This is perfectly fine. I wouldn't do it while a game is running, but when you're just sitting here on your home screen, you can hot swap these SD cards, which I'm doing here. I'll take my empty one out and put my one in that has some games on it. It'll show up here on your Steam Deck, and there we go. Shows up with some of my games. So it is okay to do that while your system's on at any time there, and you're good. I just wouldn't do it while games are up. So this will bring us into our tip number 4, which is verified games. Not all the games on the Steam Deck that need to run need to be verified. There are some that are yellow or question marked or just crossed out. You can also go in here and filter if you'd like to see verified only or verified playable and all of that. And of course, there's a bunch of advanced filters that get beyond the verified thing, but not all games need to be verified. Now, it's nice when they are that they will run, but for example, like Batman here, none of these games say that they work, but I have a video on the channel where all 3 are running very well. Something like Battlefield with the anti-cheat's not working right now, but you kind of got to go in and experiment. So don't just assume that something's not verified that it won't run. Go ahead and give a try with different compatibility layers on your Steam Deck and see what you can get working. Now, tip number 5 is kind of 2 tips in one, and this is going to the desktop mode and using the Discovery app. You can hold your power button down until you see the menu come up here, and we can switch to desktop, or you can hit your Steam button, go to power, and do the same thing here with switch to desktop, which we'll click here. And it doesn't take very long for the Steam Deck to do this typically. So we'll go ahead and get switched over to desktop mode, and you really want to get used to switching back and forth because you will use this a good bit as you go in and start experimenting with the Steam Deck, adding compatibility layers, trying other programs and things like that. So anyway, your trackpads will pretty much work like your mouse for your right and left click and for scrolling around, and it does a great job with that. So we'll come down here to our Discovery Software Center, and this is where you can come to get a lot of different apps that are very useful, whether it be different types of games that you can get in here, things for development. Internet's a good one because you can go in and get web browsers you may want, like Edge or Chrome, to run certain web apps or do certain things on your Steam Deck. So definitely get used to using the Discovery app, getting to the desktop mode, and making the most out of that. It will definitely help make your Steam Deck experience much better. You also have your installed area here where you can see programs you have installed, launch them or remove them. And it's pretty convenient, pretty easy to do everything right here when you're just using the Discovery app. But that's going to bring us into tip number 6, which is this Proton Up QT that I have installed. This is how you install different compatibility layers. So you want to make sure you install this, find it in the Discovery app. You can search for it with Proton Up, download it, and then launch it like I have here. Now you can see I have my GE Proton layers already installed that I've been using. What you'll want to do is click Add Version, GE Proton up here in your drop-down menu, and then you can pick your versions here that you'd like to add to your Steam Deck. Once you pick a version, go down here, click Install. It will automatically install it to Steam for you. And then once that's finished and you have all the versions you want, you can close out of that and you'll be good to go. You will need to restart Steam on desktop mode if you want it to go ahead and take effect here. Now I'm going to go ahead and take us back to gaming mode and show you what those layers did for us by doing that. We go over here to a game's properties, and you can go into compatibility and then force. And that's when you can go in and use those downloaded and installed GE Proton layers. So it becomes very useful when you're running Windows apps or certain games that are having trouble running. Different versions may help run games better or smoother, or maybe help games that didn't run at all work. So you really got to have fun and experiment with these things, but it's a great idea to get used to doing all that. Now for our final tip, it's definitely one of my favorites on the Steam Deck, especially since I love to test games and figure out great settings to use and that type of thing, and that's the 40 Hertz mode. So of course right here we're just running at 60 frames per second at 60 Hertz, but you can click your quick access button here, go through the battery options, come down to frame rate limit and refresh rate. We'll knock this down to 40, which will actually change our screen to 40 Hertz, and will then cap the game or any game to 40 FPS by doing that. This can help with battery life, it can help with game performance, it can really steady out your frame time, and just lots of different uses that 40 FPS can have. It's a nice sweet spot between 30 and 60, so if you're having trouble running a game at 60 or not liking 30, 40 might be the way to go. And finally, I'll just throw in a bonus here. If you hit your quick access button and you go to use per game profile, you can actually set these settings up per game, so that, say something like 40 Hertz, you don't have to set it globally to do it to every game when you launch in. You could just have it per game. Same thing with frame rate limits and other things. Anything below the slider there will go per game, and that can be very, very useful. So I just want to throw that in there at the end. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you coming to check out the video. I hope these 7 tips help you. There should be more videos coming at you in the future. If you haven't already, subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell, and I'll see you guys in the next one.